Yeah.
Like, they came out with almost any feature an iPhone has, Google did have first. I think that's an objective truth, but they abandoned it or did a bad job of it, where it's like clunky and not.
Versus Windows, where it's like VSTs are just native, like they just work properly.
Yeah,
but
which is so cool.
Yeah, but like AU units do not work on Windows, and some VSTs do not work on Mac.
I hate that.
It's very annoying.
There's no reason.
Yeah.
There's ways around it.
Yeah.
Everything is so unified nowadays. There's no reason to do that type of shit.
Right.
It's almost like it's like the laziest form of come over to our platform.
Yeah.
You want to do that? Then come, spend $2,000 on a Mac then.
Yeah.
That's the only way.
Which, like, granted, I loved when I had a Mac until I didn't. There's times now where I'd be like, it'd be really nice to have a Mac just for like other things too. Like even now, like I have my Pixel and I like my Pixel, but like there's just so many times where I'm like, fuck, having an iPhone would just be way easier right now.
Yeah, I was
more convenient in different ways.
I was resistant to the iPhone for a long time. I was a hardcore Android guy, and everybody in my family was on iPhone, and I don't want to say I felt left out, but it was like annoying. Like if they wanted to like video call me or something, it was difficult.
I know that's such a big thing with Apple's like model and stuff, is like
it's a walled garden.
Yeah, so many people just FaceTime, which is ideally a better way to communicate with someone if you're trying to communicate in that sense.
Yeah,
but like
it's
there's really no equivalent on the Android OS unless you're doing like a Skype call or something.
Yeah.
Or they have like the Google thing, but
they have Duo and stuff. But the problem with Google is that they don't stick with something.
Yeah.
They like do all these like new products, and it's like, oh wow, this is revolutionary thing. Like fucking, do you remember Inbox by Google? They like basically reinvented how email interface was, like user interface.
Yeah. Okay.
And it was awesome. I completely converted because it basically turned your email inbox into like a to-do list. So you could like, once you read an email or whatever, there was a check mark next to it, and like if you replied to it or did the thing that the email required from you, you could hit that check mark and it archived it and it went away, so you could have an empty inbox when you like finished all your things. And it was like a really good way to feel like you accomplished things. And then they just scrapped it. It just went away. You can't use it anymore. And like I fully converted to it for like years. I fucking loved it. Because the thing about like office work and like digital work is like you don't get at the end of the day like if you're building something, at the end of the day you can stand back and like put your hands on your hips and be like, I've made this thing, and you get to look at it and enjoy it.
Yeah,
you don't really get that as much with digital shit,
right?
So it enabled me to feel like, I went through however many fucking emails or whatever and did all these tasks, and I have evidence because I just have the picture of the sun here in the background, and there's no emails in my inbox. I caught up.
Right.
And they just totally scrapped it, and they took some of the features and put it into Gmail, but not the good parts.
Yeah. It's so weird. There's certain features in Gmail that I just don't understand how anyone could use them. Like the like chat features and stuff at the bottom.
Yeah, Google Chat's dead, dude.
Yeah, that shit doesn't work. I used it once because a professor in college made me use it, and now I have this motherfucker in my inbox that's just sitting down there. I'm like, sorry, Jeffrey, I don't feel like hanging out with you.
And that's like another thing is like, so there's Google Messenger, used to be called Google Hangouts.
Yeah.
Google Hangouts. So I used to have an Android phone, and I had Google Fi phone service and everything. So it was all integrated. And I wore Google Glass as well. You can call me whatever you want.
Yeah,
but
there's some old pictures of Chris with Google Glass. I wonder if they're still on the...
I literally wore Google Glass every single day for over 3 years. I was obsessed with it. It's some of the coolest.
How did I wave during a podcast? Way to break the fourth wall of me. Are you in here?
There. Yep, there's me with Google Glass.
I love how it... almost everyone on here does not work here.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's you and
Mike. Yep, that's it. Yeah, I used to develop vape flavors. There you go. So did Jared.
Yeah. That'll be a conversation a whole other day.
Yeah,
we can really nerd out about flavoring and just profiles of stuff.
But back to my point, the Google Glass, Google Fi, Google Hangouts, all that stuff, when I had all that synced up when back in the day when this was a thing, if I got a phone call or a text, I could answer it on my computer, I could answer it on my phone, I could answer it on my glasses. It didn't matter where. It all went everywhere. Same with text, same with emails. That shit was the most seamless thing I've ever experienced. It was so fucking cool.
Which is what Apple gets right so much. Everything is integrated within their whole OS is just the same throughout everything.
Exactly. It all talks. So now, like, people that have like an iPad and an iMac and a MacBook and an Apple Watch and an iPhone, you could do the same deal. Like, I have an Apple Watch now, and it's convenient because, like, I've gotten texts during this podcast and I'm able to just like glance at them and you know, dismiss them. I can even answer them from here if I want. But I really miss that, and Google continuously fucks that up, and it makes me really sad because they used to do a great job.
Google, you're fucking it up, dude.
Like, Google, for the love of God, just stick with things. Give them more than a year, and like, you should just, once it's adopted by people, you need to just leave it as a feature, even if you take away the like parent product or whatever. Integrate it elsewhere where it makes sense, because there's no reason that there isn't a FaceTime equivalent for Android. I mean, there is Duo, but nobody uses Duo. You should build it into Hangouts or Messenger or whatever, and it should just be like on an iPhone. When you pull up somebody's contact, there's phone call, text, FaceTime. You can just hit the FaceTime button and call them. And then you're on a video call.
There's so many, which I guess is like the core of Android's model, is it's not, I guess, a monopolized type thing. You can get different third-party things to do that, but the fact that exists also fucks it up at the same time. Because nothing is ever fully optimized for every device. Like, even just like pictures and stuff, sending just like a Snapchat or something. Like, if I sent it to you, or like send you a video that I took and it's fucking nice on my phone, it will just not fucking look right.
Exactly.
And vice versa. You'll send me something and it looks like you shot it on like old fucking Nokia brick.
Exactly. But if I send it through iMessage, the other person gets it in like full 1080p or whatever. And like live pictures, all that stuff. And what's most frustrating is that Google is really the company doing the innovation. Like, they came out with almost any feature an iPhone has, Google did have first. I think that's an objective truth, but they abandoned it or did a bad job of it, where it's like clunky and not user friendly. And Apple's like, oh yeah, it just is now. Like, you can be on a phone call on your iPhone. I can be talking to somebody on the phone, and they're like, hey, I want to show you something. And then there's a FaceTime button in the phone call, and then it just becomes a FaceTime. It's completely seamless. It doesn't hang up or anything like that. It just switches. And like, we all know Google can.
Google, you like own the internet.
You
like,
literally have a monopoly.
You're it. You have your own browser. Like, you've made it.
It's so upsetting. It
was debatably one of the best browsers for a long time.
Now it's creepy. Like, way to go, Google. You really learned to fuck it up.
You're lucky I don't like Firefox, so I'm just with you now.
And here we are complaining about it on Google's platform, YouTube.
And while I'm using Chrome. And Google Suite.
They really got us.
And with my Google phone.
Those fucking bitches.
I thought I was being smart. I'm like, you know what? We do everything through Google Suite. Let me just get a phone, and I can make my work so much easier. And I'm like, fuck this phone.
It's really not any better.
I'm over it. I want to distance myself again.
I never thought I would say it, but you should probably just get an iPhone.
I will when my contract is up or when I can upgrade, because like, the thing that got me to move to an Android phone first was my MacBook dying. When that was like, when it died the first time and I built a PC, I was like, well, my integration with my computer is not really there anymore. And like, a lot of the time, like, I wouldn't ever have my phone on me, and I would just do all my texts, everything just through my Mac. And once that wasn't an option anymore, it's like, well, I'm just here with a fucking iPhone, and I have to be doing everything through like Windows OS, so it just doesn't make sense. And now it's like, because a lot of it too was like having to sync things with your computer, syncing things to iPhone when you would want to keep physicals of shit on your phone and stuff. That's how long it's been since I've had an iPhone. It has been since probably last time I had it, 2015.
It's come a long way.
Maybe. Yeah, it's been 7 years. They've definitely done some good shit. And every time I'm like, no, I don't really want it this time. Like, the last time I got this like right before all like the COVID stuff, and it's been 2 years. And I'm like, fucking, can I just get an upgrade soon? My parents, so I'm all like on a plan and stuff with my parents, and they just steal the upgrades whenever it's mine all the time. My parents are always getting new phones, and I'm like, hey, I need to really upgrade soon. My shit's all fucked up. And they're like, oh, I just got a new one. Sorry.
I got the Galaxy that folds now.
Yeah. Oof. You probably have to wait like 9 months before there's another upgrade. And then it gets there and it's like, ooh, your dad just took it a little too early. Ooh, sorry.
Be better, Google.
Yeah.
I said it.
Yeah.
There, I said it.
Long story short, Google, you're fucking me.
So I mean, I guess we can loop back to a little bit of design.
Yeah.
Something I've been kind of obsessed with, and it's kind of, in a way, it's like adjacent to skeuomorphism in a way, but it's like architectural typology, which is like,
you said that the other day and I've already forgotten what it meant.
So it's really cool. It's how we know what a building is without really knowing anything else about it. It's just by looking at it, you can tell what it is.
Yeah. Ergo, seeing a bank and knowing it's a bank.
Yeah, or a gas station. Like, you can tell from like a mile away what a gas station looks like.
Yeah.
You know what a car dealership looks like. You know what a school looks like. You know, all these things.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is that it kind of like is true all throughout human history. So like, we're able to like dig up these ruins in like Egypt that are 4,000 years old, and we know, oh, this building's shaped this way, it was a temple. Oh, this was a house. This was
a McDonald's.
This was a McDonald's. Yeah. But like, it's just it's like, it's so fascinating because it's kind of innately human to like, it's a way to communicate usefulness and like purpose to somebody who can't even like read, for example.
Yeah.
And you know, for a lot of human history, the average person couldn't read.
Yeah.
So they needed to be able to be like, there's church.
Yeah.
I'm walking
or there
over
wasn't
there.
necessarily written language. It was in a way almost self-referential with like pictographic languages and stuff, where it's like, this is visually what this is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
This is a representation of an idea.
Yeah, it's an abstraction. It's like skeuomorphism in that way.
Yeah.
It is this thing, and you can tell it is because of the way it looks.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just find that shit so fascinating because you know, at the end of the day, humans are social creatures and we want to communicate ideas and stuff to each other. And I think it's so cool how you can do that without words in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
You can do it without any kind of language except for design language. And I've been really going down the rabbit holes on like ancient civilizations. I guess because like once you realize that like those ancient people had like the same brains as us, they just were in a different circumstance.
Yeah.
It kind of like humanizes them in a different way to me. Like, for a long time, I kind of just thought of them like, oh, there's like cavemen. Like, they didn't think like us. They're just like making noises and burning themselves.
Yeah, hitting rocks with sticks.
Yeah, exactly. But like, they had
making noises and burning themselves.
I mean, I think that you could sum up a lot of history of that happening.
Yeah, monkey ASMR was just all prehistoric history.
Yeah. And then you learn, oh, it hurts when I hit things.
Yeah. Like I just fucked my shit up.
But yeah, I don't know. Like that stuff is like just so cool to me, and it kind of is part of like the umbrella idea to me of like design is art.
Yeah.
And I think that they're often separated in people's minds. Especially as we learn more as a society about design, because you know, like the old like we're standing on the shoulders of giants kind of thing. Somebody had to invent each thing, and then it's like kind of like conversational how we keep pushing it forward and improving it, or like polishing that turd in a way.
Yeah.
And like things like logo design, like I think that a lot of people approach it really analytically and like they think of it as a science, and like if you do this then it will work, period. And that's not true.
Right.
It's kind of deeper than that. Like you can have what is mathematically a perfect design, but if it doesn't resonate with people, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Like for example, we've experimented with our logo. I'm really fond of the aimbot logo. And it is a cat that is like based off of a video game controller.
Yeah.
And we've experimented with taking the cat away and like changing the fonts and stuff like that, adding different characteristics to the logo. But at the end of the day, I feel like it has to evoke something from people automatically.
Yeah.
Like the ultimate goal, really, long term, like 20 years from now, when hopefully aimbot is a household name, we won't have to put the word aimbot anywhere.
Yeah.
Like on an Apple computer, like on my iPhone, there's just an apple on the back of it.
Bing bong.
You know that this is Apple computers.
Yeah. Yeah. Like mine's just got the G on there somewhere.
Yeah.
And yeah. Google owns G too.
Yeah. Google owns the letter G. That's why they pivoted to becoming Alphabet, because they're like, we're just going to own all the letters. We're just going to slowly buy them all.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hopefully, like, that is the goal, is like one day the cat, people will see that cat and they're like, oh, that's aimbot. That's.
Yeah.
And I like to think that it'll happen. Only time will tell.
Yeah. I agree.
Feel free to roast our logo in the comments.
Yeah, you fucking cucks.
And